Chicago can lay claim to many important contributions to American culture, but few are as widely known and some would say beloved as the traditions of a certain hot dog company founded in Chicago. John Calloway has the story.
Oh, I'd love to be an Oscar Mayer Weiner. That is what I truly like to be.
Oscar Mayer may or may not be your wiener of choice, but you have to admit they've had some marketing geniuses over there.
'Cause if I were an Oscar Mayer Weiner, everyone would be in love with me.
This familiar song would have been enough to get them into an advertising hall of fame, but long before the song's 1963 premiere, Oscar Mayer was already making its way into pop culture history.
Well, the Wienermobile is a 27-foot-long hot dog on wheels, and its mission is to spread miles of smiles all across America.
Today, there are 6 Wienermobiles visiting America's grocery stores and parades, but Chicago can claim the very first.
It started in 1936 as the nephew of Oscar Mayer, Carl Mayer, wanted to go around promoting Oscar Mayer hot dogs in a unique sort of way.
The first Wienermobile was made of metal, not fiberglass, and at 13 feet was less than half the size of today's jumbo dog.
The Wienermobile is 60 hot dogs long, 18 hot dogs wide, and 24 hot dogs high, and it weighs approximately...
Today, each Wienermobile is piloted by a couple of hot doggers, recent college graduates who spend a year traveling the country in a 27-foot-long hot dog.
People are always really excited to see us. Kids of all ages, especially, I would say, the 80-year-old kids.
But there weren't always hot doggers. You might remember a different Oscar Mayer spokesperson.
Look, little Oscar.
Here's little Oscar and his Wienermobile. Little Oscar, the world's smallest chef.
For 5 decades, it was little Oscar who served as Oscar Mayer's ambassador. He traveled in the Wienermobile, explained the benefits of Oscar Mayer Bologna, and appeared in TV ads.
Come in, and bring your father. Say, what you making? Sandwiches, real He-Man sandwiches, with Oscar Mayer Bologna. Oh, meat Bologna.
There were several little Oscars over the years. Maynard Robb says he came up with the idea and was the first little Oscar in 1937. 2 years later, he would become better known as a coroner.
And she's not only merely dead, she's really most sincerely dead.
Jerry Marin became a little Oscar after offering a gift to a certain girl from Kansas.
In the name of the Lollipop Kid, we wish to welcome you to Munchkin Land.
But the little Oscar with the longest tenure was a former bookkeeper from Hobart, Indiana, named George Molchon.
I think I was in the back here when in the parade.
As little Oscar's sister, Lillian Martin has ironed her share of chef uniforms. She is still amazed at the rock star treatment her brother received at grocery stores.
It was always a madhouse, and these kids would come storming in, and everybody wanted to just grab onto him. The policeman had to pick him up and put him over the fence because he would have got trampled. And I just stand there and say, he's only my brother.
George loved being little Oscar, says Lillian, and it was a lot of fun having him in the family. She has only one complaint, and it's about the Wienermobile.
But I never got to ride in one. Never.
All right, let's have an Oscar Mayer Weiner. That is what I truly like to be.
The Wienermobile is one of those things that creates an event wherever it goes.
Let's get the taller people in the back, shorter ones in the front.
So it attracts a lot of attention. When it shows up in a parade or when it comes to a shopping center or whatever, it creates its own excitement. But it's also excitement about the product, which makes the marketer, in this case Oscar Mayer, quite happy.
Wienermobile, would you guys like a wiener whistle? Yeah! All right!
Another example of Oscar Mayer's marketing muscle is the wiener whistle.
Wait! My Oscar Mayer Weiner whistle!
The Wiener whistle, introduced in 1951, could always be counted on to summon little Oscar.
bring gifts. Oscar Mayer cold cuts.
One man who knows these grocery store visits better than just about anyone is Joe Kosak. Throughout the 60s, Joe drove the Wienermobile and little Oscar.
But he was the whole show. As soon as we drove up, I stayed in the background and I supplied him with more whistles.
This scene may be familiar, he says, but the Wienermobile has changed.
The old ones used to break down quite a bit, so we had trouble on the road quite often.
Do you want to take a look inside?
Sure. Oh my gosh, what a difference.
Over the years, the Wienermobile has evolved and grown. In 1971, it began a 17-year absence from our highways. But George Mulchon continued as Little Oscar at the Oscar Mayer restaurant at Walt Disney World. That is, until the Little Oscar character was retired in 1987. The Wienermobile returned to the road in 1988, this time with hot doggers at the helm. But George Mulchon continued to be so identified with Little Oscar that when he died in 2005, his funeral had an unusual procession. Then all in attendance blew tiny whistles, and of course a certain song, one that George helped make famous, was sung.
Oh, I wish I was an Oscar Mayer Weiner. That is what I truly want to be.
For Chicago Tonight, I'm John Kellogg.
Mayer Weiner. Everyone would be in love with me.
Now, we feel it's important for you to know that we debated long and hard about the correct pronunciation of the meat product, which most of us call bologna, but which you just heard Little Oscar refer to as Bologna. It's hard to imagine a better source than Little Oscar, but then we remembered another Oscar Mayer jingle, which goes something like, my bologna has a first name, it's O-S-C-A-R. Well, you get the idea, so bologna it was.